Hi, I'm Candace Perry, 32, a resident physician in Bozeman, Montana. For 4 years, I wired my parents $2,000 every month. Rent, prescriptions, car repairs, every bill stamped with my name. I thought that was love. Until the day they didn't show up. No call, no text, just empty seats at my own wedding. I slipped out, veil trembling, and dialed my mom. She answered on the third ring, voice cold as metal. Don't bother us. Something inside me cracked, but it wasn't my heart. It was habit. That afternoon, I opened my laptop in the bridal suite. One by one, I shut every account in their name. They skipped my wedding. I cut the cord. Have you ever had to choose yourself over family expectations? Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know. For 4 years, I sent my parents $2,000 a month. Rent, medical bills, car repairs, internet. Whatever excuse they had that week, I wired it automatically like brushing my teeth. A habit of guilt. There was never a thank you. Just short texts, received, need more, this week's late. I'd finish a 12-hour hospital shift, exhausted, and still open my banking app. Somehow, watching that balance drop felt like proof I was a good daughter. Mom always said family comes first. Dad called me the stable one. They said it like praise, but it felt like a sentence. Meanwhile, my sister Brooke was the golden child. 28, selling luxury homes in Bozeman's booming market. She drove a new SUV, wore designer bags, and when she visited our parents, they clapped like she'd won a medal. They bragged about her to neighbors, while my name was barely mentioned unless money came up. I once asked Dad why they never acknowledged what I did. He said, "You're doing fine, we need it more." Mom chimed in, "Brooke's still building her career, honey. You're stable." Stable, like a bank account they didn't have to earn. I started cutting back. No dinners out, no vacations. Just more double shifts and quiet resentment. Sean, my fiancé, saw it long before I did. "Why do you let them use you?" he asked one night, gentle but firm. I didn't answer. Maybe because admitting the truth felt like betrayal. Maybe because I didn't know who I'd be. If I stopped being the one who fixed everything. But that guilt, the thing I thought was love, was just control dressed as obligation. And I didn't see it clearly until the day they missed my wedding. After that call, the house went quiet. Not peaceful, emptied of excuses. Sean poured tea and watched me breathe. "Talk to me," he said softly. "I don't know who I am without duty." He shook his head, kind but firm. "You're more than their emergency fund." His words felt like a handrail. Nights bled into hospital mornings. Monitors beeped, lives rerouted, thank yous whispered. Driving home, Bozeman glowed winter and tired. My inbox kept another urgent waiting. Water bill, copay, transfer now. I stopped replying immediately. Silence finally let me hear my pulse. Gloria met me at a diner. She slid a legal pad between mugs. "List everything you pay," she said. Accounts, logins, receipts, autopays, cards. Her pen scratched a relentless rhythm. "It isn't love if consent's missing." So many lines, so little me. "Have you ever faced this? Tell me in the comments," I whispered. Gloria circled one word, boundaries. "Start small," she said, tapping twice. "Delay a transfer. Ask questions. See who throws a fit." I tried it the next week. Mom called within minutes, voice sharp. "Why don't you trust us?" Guilt fell like cold rain. Sean kept me anchored by the sink. That night, I opened the manager. Changed passwords I'd left on autopilot. Added two-factor to fragile doors. Printed statements. Filed them neatly. Labeled a folder Future Me. A candle flickered inside my chest. Small, warm, defiant. Sunday, I visited Grandma Lillian. Her porch smelled like pine and coffee. "You look tired," she said gently. "Not weak, just tired." I cried without words. "I'm planning a small wedding." Her eyes brightened with stubborn light. "I'll be there. Best shoes." Hope fluttered, fragile but breathing. I chose a community hall. Wooden beams, string lights, quiet flowers. I mailed invitations with careful hands. Called my parents, offered gas money. They promised they'd be there. I believe them because daughters hope. The week before, I rehearsed boundaries. Receipts, logins, questions, delays. I practiced saying, "Not this time." Morning of the ceremony, I exhaled. Sun on snow, coffee on tongue. White chairs lined like small blessings. Sean's vows tucked in his pocket. I checked the doorway, counting seconds. No text, no call, no them. Music softened. The room held breath. The old ache rose, familiar and heavy. I pictured Gloria's legal pad squares. Prepared, not powerless, I reminded myself. I smiled without breaking. Walked to the bridal suite. Opened the laptop beside the bouquet. Finished what fear kept postponing. Auto pays off, cards frozen, accounts sealed. The lace at my wrist fluttered. It sounded like a page turning. I didn't wait for apologies. I built my way out. The letter arrived the morning after the wedding. Not a text. A threat in cursive. "You'll regret this," my mother wrote. No apology. Only warning dressed as love. Sean read it, jaw hard. "This isn't family, this is coercion," he said. I photographed the letter, filed it with receipts. Gloria texted, "Document everything, Candace." We met at her office downtown. Fluorescence hummed. Snow tapped the windows. She stacked folders like bricks. Police report, bank notice, restraining order draft. I nodded, hands cold and ready. Then the phone rang from Missoula. "Candace, it's your Uncle Stuart," he said. "We need to talk about your grandparents' estate." The word estate hollowed the room. I put him on speaker. Gloria took notes. "Grandma and Grandpa left a trust," he said. 100,000, split between you and Brooke. "Dad never told us," I whispered. "Gerald was executor. You two were beneficiaries. I found copies cleaning my attic. A will, a letter from Grandma, and bank statements." He paused, voice rough with shame. 2 years ago, 10,000 was withdrawn. "It shows your names as authorizations. But the signatures aren't yours," Stuart said. Gloria's pen stopped. The room went still. Forged signatures. My stomach dropped. Sean squeezed my shoulder, silent. "Send everything," Gloria said, voice steel. "We'll verify with the bank today." Stuart overnighted the packet. Truth arrived heavy. Grandma's handwriting glowed through my tears. "Use this for school, a home, a fresh start. You and Brooke, equally with love. Not for your father to treat as his." Gloria matched statements against routing numbers and dates. There it was, the withdrawal, the forged forms. My name bent wrong at the R. Brooke's surname looped backward, careless and showy. "Candace, this is fraud," Gloria said. "We add it to the criminal record." My phone buzzed while we copied pages. Unknown number. "Pay up or your secrets spread." Fear still pressed, cold and practical. Gloria forwarded the text to the detective. "We're establishing a harassment pattern," she said. That afternoon, I drove to Grandma Lillian's. Her house smelled like lemon oil and thyme. She read the will with trembling glasses, then looked at me like I was 10. "Baby, your grandparents trusted you, not Gerald," she said. "They planned for you. You earned it. Your father chose theft over honesty." She tapped the signature with one steady finger. "People show love or they show greed. Believe what you see, not what you're told." Outside, wind scraped the porch boards. Inside, something old settled into place. I wasn't a wallet. I was a witness. I wasn't a daughter for hire. I was an heir. The lies finally had edges I could measure. The silence finally had documents I could hold. I closed the packet and exhaled slow. The truth wasn't just ugly. It was criminal. Gloria filed the reports that afternoon. Fraud, harassment, attempted access to closed accounts. She moved like weather, precise and unstoppable. "We'll seek a temporary order tomorrow," she said. "Then make it permanent with evidence." Passwords changed. Two-factor everywhere. Credit freezes with all bureaus. We called the trust bank together. The account was frozen for investigation. Beneficiaries flagged. Executor powers suspended. That night, Lillian called, voice tight. "They came again while I was out. They rifled your boxes, took journals and photos." The hurt felt personal, not just legal. Memories aren't currency, they're anchors. Gloria added theft to the file. "Morning," a teller from Bozeman branch called. Someone tried withdrawing 2,000 from an old account. ID didn't match the signature card. The clerk stalled, flagged, refused. By noon, the texts escalated again. "Tell Candace to pay or regret it." New numbers. Same threat rhythm. Gloria forwarded everything to the detective. "Pattern established," she said, still writing. "We're moving from paper to cuffs." Brooke arrived at dusk, unannounced. SUV door slammed like a verdict. "You can't do this to them," she said. "They're drowning without your help." "They hit a trust," I answered. "Dad forged our names." "I have the will and statements," she read with shaking hands. "Even if it's true, they still need you." "You're the stable one," she insisted. The old label scraped my skin. "Stability isn't servitude," I said quietly. "Love without respect is debt." She flinched, then stiffened. "You're selfish," she whispered, and left. The door clicked like a gavel. At dawn, Gloria texted, "Station, bring the packet." Sean drove. Snow hissed under the tires. Inside, the detective spread photos and forms. "Your parents were arrested," he said evenly, "at a financial services office downtown. They attempted a loan using your name. Fake ID, forged documents. In their car, we found your journals. And copies of threatening letters and drafts. Relief and sorrow collided in my ribs. We walked to the courthouse together. Gloria spoke. I signed. Judge eyes tracked the timeline, unblinking. Temporary order granted on the spot. No contact. No proxy contact through family. No financial activity in my name. A review date set for permanence. The gavel sounded like a door ceiling. Outside, reporters angled for comment. I kept my voice low and steady. This is about safety and honesty, I said. Nothing more, nothing less. Sean squeezed my hand, anchor steady. Lillian later left soup on our porch. Her note read, "Proud of your backbone." I cried finally without apology. That night, I opened Future Me, filed the order behind the will copies, closed the cabinet with deliberate hands. The house hummed like it remembered me. I wasn't cruel, I was careful. I wasn't vindictive, I was free. They taught me loyalty. I taught them consequences. The order became permanent 2 weeks later. No contact. No proxies. No access to anything with my name. The gavel fell. Air returned to my lungs. I walked out lighter by invisible pounds. Their eviction notice landed the same week. They'd stopped paying long before my wedding. Consequences moved in where excuses once lived. I didn't celebrate, I exhaled. Lillian waited with soup in a velvet box. "Your great-grandmother's ring," she said, smiling gently. "Family that shows up deserves the heirlooms." The silver warmed against my palm. A promise that didn't demand payment. The trust released after the bank's review. 90,000 remained. My share was 45. I didn't buy revenge, I built a home. Sean and I painted quiet rooms. We laid new floors that didn't creak. We planted peonies like my grandmother's garden. Every bloom felt like a clean receipt. Brooke texted one sentence. "I'm with Mom and Dad. Don't contact me." It hurt in a quiet, honest way. Grief didn't burn, it cooled. I shelved the message beside old expectations. Not forgiveness. Not fury. Just the truth, placed carefully. Some mornings I still wait counting bills. Then the house answers back softly. "You're safe. You're paid up. You're not responsible for their storms." Coffee brews without bracing for demands. Shoes lace without checking my balance. The silence finally belongs to me. Chosen family fills the empty chairs. Sean reads beside me. Lillian hums in the kitchen. I touch the ring to remember my name. I was never their wallet. I was a whole person. Boundaries didn't break me. They built me back. Blood made me. Boundaries saved me. And love rebuilt my life. Comment 1 if you're carrying family at your expense. Comment 2 if you chose boundaries and started healing. Subscribe for more stories. And share where you're watching from.